Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Athletic School podcast. Today, our guest speaker is David Steinman. Coach Steinman has over a decade of experience coaching baseball and basketball. He's also a health and physical education teacher dedicated to shaping athletes both on and off the field through his passion for sports and education. David, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Like I was saying to you before, I've seen that you are working with so many different athletes from a lot of different levels, and then even different sports. And I think my biggest question for you, and my just to start off the conversation, what separates a good athlete to a great athlete?
I think the first thing when it comes to talking about good and great athletes is, do they go above and beyond for the game itself? Are they fully invested in being a student of the game, being committed to the game, and understanding that it's not just what's required of you that makes you good? It's the extra stuff that you do by yourself, with your parents, with friends. It's the extra work that you're doing that's really going to separate you from your competition and your peers.
hmm Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The other day, I was having a conversation with a coworker, and he was telling me like I don't really know what's expected from me, and I think that like maybe the expectation is very low, and it's just up to you to to go above and beyond the expectations.
Yeah, I think for in athletics and especially high school youth athletics, it's what's expected is practice. You show up for practice if it's a 5 day a week or 6 day a week commitment like a high school program. That's the bare minimum that you put in is just what's expected in terms of the 2 or 2.5 hour practice. Youth is even less. Sometimes it's only 2 days a week and it's a 90-minute practice. So if you're relying on what we'll call the bare minimum is what the coach is expecting, you're never going to truly develop because in order for you to develop your skills, you have to put tons and tons of hours and reps into the skills to master them. In a team practice, it's all about the team. How do we get the team better? How do we clean up mistakes that we made last time? If you want to become better as a player, you have to work on your skills. And oftentimes that skill work is done outside of your bare minimum practice, team practice.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And we'll go back a little bit into that, but talking more about your experience as a coach, and I've seen a lot of videos that you are correcting technique, and there's all these details in terms of technique and physical performance. Where does the mental side of the sport comes? What do you do to implement the mental game when you are coaching a kid?
I think a lot of the mental game comes from like conversations and learning the athletes of what drives them, what makes them tick, what is a trigger for them, what forces them to get off of who they are as a person, like what adversities take them in what direction, and then giving them coping mechanisms on how they bring themselves back to who they are with a clear mind, clear headspace, and able to perform at their best. So it really starts with understanding the athlete, understanding how they learn, what challenges they have and what their response to those challenges are, and then giving them tools and methods for coping and dealing with said challenges that they face throughout the time of the game or in practice or the training session.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think for me as an athlete, and I'm sure you were an athlete as well, I think for us, that's the probably the best way that has the greatest impact for us, right? Because we can sit down and like say, oh, we're gonna have a mental session, and then we're gonna learn more about the mental side of the game. But the reality is we are all different. We don't respond to the same challenge the same way. And I think I remember a coach that I had in the past that he had his unique way to coach. But I think the mental side was never like, yeah, let's sit down and talk about how you're feeling, or how you deal with this or how you deal with that. It was just throughout practice, throughout the session, he would tell me stuff that it would stick with me just because it made so much sense in that situation. And I just keep carrying that with me for my entire life. So yeah, I 100% agree with you.
I also think that in today's day and age in 2024, soon to be 2025, the athletes have a lot of pressure put on them. They see things that are on social media that are edited and available, and they end up comparing themselves to everything and everybody else that they see. And that's not reality. And as an athlete, as a person, we shouldn't compare ourselves to anybody or anything. Like, we set out every day to be the best version of ourselves, if I can be cliche in that sense. Like, we need to find what it is we're looking to accomplish and then make sure that our daily actions and tasks match that goal that we've set out for ourselves, whether it be daily, weekly, monthly, or seasonally.
Hmm. And I see on the whiteboard behind you, it says human and then athlete and then specific athlete. And we talked a lot about working hard, going above and beyond, and I think when we do that, a lot of the times we forget to be human first.
Hmm?
What are your thoughts on treating the human being first and then an athlete first? Do you think there are different periods in your lives, or should we find a balance? What are your thoughts?
I think they go hand in hand. I mean, ultimately, my goal as a coach is to build the best humans as possible. And if along the way we can build great athletes, with that, we're in a really good place. So, like, my individual sessions, my group sessions, is not necessarily just skill based. I'm going to present the problem, I'm going to present the challenge or a task. Some players are going to be able to do it really quick and they're going to achieve success faster, and others are not going to, and they're going to have to figure out ways to navigate through those rocky times. And the conversation in those settings are, here are some ways that you can navigate through, or something as simple as saying thank you to your parents, like teaching them more about life and how athletics is a great teacher of life. You learn life skills and how to work in a group and how to work with people that maybe you don't get along with, and really figuring out. So I think that they go hand in hand. As a coach, you're obviously coaching the human first. You can look at a young athlete and see what type of day they had just by facial expressions, tone of voice, all those nonverbal communication things. So that's more important than the skill side of it. And if you can be able to teach them how to be a good person and how to be a good human, oftentimes you can challenge them and make them better athletes as a result of that relationship.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of making mistakes and failing in general. And I think as an athlete, we fail and make a lot of mistakes all the time, and as human beings, especially. So I think those two go hand to hand because once we learn how to manage the mistakes that we do on the field, that probably help us adapting in a way that will help us in our professional life, in our personal life as well. Um, and when it comes to coaching, a lot of the times for you is just fixing little things, maybe correcting a mistake that they did here and there. So what are your thoughts when it comes to making mistakes? Maybe like they have a really good practice with you and then they go to the game and then they make mistakes and then they have to come back to you. Do you think that's important? Eh, what are your thoughts on making mistakes and failing? Do you think that's important in the process of growing and becoming a better athlete, or is it just like let's just avoid mistakes as much as possible?
I think failure and mistakes are a part of life. I think it as a coach, as a player, as an athlete, we need to learn how to deal with those failures. I mean, you think about your average day, and we'll just keep it from an athlete standpoint. If an athlete is going to train, they're going to train to seek perfection. Like, they're going to want to be perfect in everything that they do. But as a coach, we need to understand that perfection is not reality. So we train, we create a training environment where we want to try to be perfect and we want to try to be mistake free. But understand, within that training session, mistakes will occur. It's not a mistake, it's more of a learning experience. So tell me why you made the mistake, talk about what you can do better on the next one, and then we're going to try to apply your own self coaching that you gave. And along the way in that conversation, you're explaining to me, I'm providing what I see technically and positionally, how we can get better. And then it's your job as the athlete to go ahead and do it. As the game, I think that the game is for the player, at least from my perspective. The game is not for the coaches to start shouting out mechanical adjustments and technique adjustments and things like that. The game of baseball, softball, because that's what I primarily work with, is challenging enough. You don't need me to make you a robot on the field. Your job when the game turns on is to compete and to play hard and be ready to compete on each and every pitch. And if you make a mistake, That's part of the game. We need to make sure that we have the mentality that we can bounce back to the next pitch and not allow one mistake to turn into two, to turn into three, to turn into four, and having the ability to say, okay, I made a mistake. How am I going to get past it? Maybe it's a deep breath, and I'm already on to the next one. And then if you have video available to you, look at the video, and maybe the correction is right in front of your eyes. Maybe you just weren't ready. Maybe you took a pitch off. So I don't like to view failure, and I try to make practices challenging so that the athletes do fail, because they need to be able to self correct and understand that practice is meant to prepare you for the game, and that your training environment should be challenging. So failure is expected in our sessions, and we talk about the mechanical adjustments that need to be made within that rep or in that drill so that you can improve your skills for the next one.
Mhm. If you had to distill your coaching philosophy into one single principle, what would it be, and why?
Um, my coaching philosophy, I had to just put it into one. I would say energy in versus energy out. You need to invest yourself, your time, your energy into what it is that you want to accomplish. So a lot of young adults now are pulled in 1,000 different directions, and they're not fully invested in the athletics at hand or the goal at hand for the group. So I would say my coaching philosophy is make sure that if you're going to play a sport, particularly a team sport, that you are investing your time and effort and energy to be the best of yourself so that you can then pour that into the team. And then in turn, you make the team better, you make your person better, you as a person better. And then ultimately, you are the best at what you
Mhm.
do.
And but I feel like that in a lot of cases, you probably work with a lot of kids that end up not going to college. Maybe they stop at high school. Um, how how do they come up with that conclusion if they don't know what they really wanted to do, or like where do you draw on the line of how much energy are you gonna put into the sport itself?
My belief in that is if you're going to participate on a team and you want to commit yourself to a baseball or a softball team, even if you have no aspirations of playing beyond high school, you have to be fully vested. So, like, what does it mean to be fully vested in a team? Is you have to be in the off season, you have to be working on your skills, you have to invest offensively, defensively, strength and conditioning. You need to commit yourself to it, because if you're half in and half out, your production is going to be less. You're not going to get what you want because you're probably not going to play. So my personality, my belief is if you're in, we're 100% in. And if you're not 100% in, then maybe being on a team sport because you don't have aspirations of playing beyond a certain level, that's not in the cards for you. But I think if you're going to do anything in life, you have to do it 100% and you have to give your best effort in anything. You may be in a situation where you don't love what you're doing, but here I am. I got to make the best of where I'm at, give it my best so that I can say that I represented myself the way that I want to be viewed by others.
Yeah, and I think it goes a lot about just being present and fully enjoying the moment. I think we talk a lot about that, but we end up not doing it as much as we should, especially with social media. And like you said, with all the many other things that we have going on,
Mhm.
it's text message, it's Instagram coming, and then it's another video, and then it's someone texting you for something else. So I do feel like it's a lot, but I think it just goes back to the principle be present. I have a bunch of sticky notes in my apartment saying be present, like even when I'm trying to brush my teeth. And honestly, I sometimes I don't even read it because I'm just in a hurry to leave and I have to brush my teeth as quick as I can. Um, but if we just take a moment, uh, I think we have a lot to achieve, and that can go in sports, in life, and simply like if you just take a day for yourself and just try and be present, go out with your friends and don't touch your phone. I think that's a lot of value into that, and I think it's a very very good reminder for
Yeah,
us that we should be present in order to achieve whatever we want to achieve in life.
I think that goes, yeah, everything. I mean, something as simple as a simple task like just brushing your teeth, but like enjoying where we're at, because what's happened has happened, and what is coming next is unknown. So I don't know why worry about either one of those things because we can't control it. So like be where your feet are, learn to love the second, the moment, the minute that you're in, so that you can have a fulfilled life and you can accomplish what it is that you want. So I think oftentimes we get caught thinking about what just happened or what's going to happen next. And we forget to say, oh man, I just had a great day today. That was a great thing that just happened to me. It's
Yeah.
more about what's next or what just happened. So I think that's a great point for all athletes and even people. Just take a second, learn to find what centers you. You know, like, are you a breather? Are you a close your eyes? Are you a 5 minute, let me read something? What brings you back to the moment? And learn how to get yourself back here in times where you feel like you have a little disconnect.
Yeah, 100%. I'm reading a book right now. It's called A Ways of Wealth, if I'm not mistaken, by Robin Sharma, and he talks a lot about how we hurry to do things, and I think as an athlete we want to accelerate the process a lot in order to get better and
Mhm.
to get there quick and commit to a school here, get a contract there. But then he says that we shouldn't hurry to climb a mountain, um, just to figure out that we climbed the wrong mountain. And I think it happens a lot to us. We just try to accelerate a process that sometimes it's just the wrong process that we're in. And I think once we enjoy more, maybe you are not going to college, you're just playing high school, and if you enjoy just a little bit more, it's gonna make your college experience much more enjoyable, and you're gonna have way more success than if you try to go play college and now you don't enjoy, and then you have a miserable 4 years, and that's all you have of memories about college. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think the best things in life take time,
Hmm.
and it's hard in the moment to realize that. Like the 100 reps that you're going to take in this half hour or an hour session may not be what you want to do in the moment, but understand that in the long term, it's what you need to do.
Hmm.
And it's showing up every day, regardless of how you feel, and making sure that you're giving best effort. It may not be 100% of what you normally have, but it's 100% of what I have right now. Physically, mentally, emotionally. There's so many different factors that go into it, but that be present, be where your feet are, and learn to live in the moment is critical for everybody to kind of try to practice. It's hard, but it's critical to practice and apply.
Yes. Um, and we talk a little bit in the beginning, and I want to go back to that a little bit. You mentioned like how young athletes, they have so much going on, and something that I see here, I'm from Brazil, and the only sport that I grew up playing was soccer. And you also mentioned about like how you have to put in the hours in, like there's not a lot of ways around. um, but something that I see here in the US, it's people playing a lot of sports, and a lot of people talk about the importance of playing other sports. What are your thoughts on playing different sports? Is there like a certain age that we should try things out and then we should focus on just one, or is it okay to, I don't know, go to college and run track and play softball, or you know what I mean? What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on that?
I mean, as a athlete myself, I don't really like to talk about my personal athletic things. I was a multiple sport athlete, and it's just kind of
Mhm.
what you did. Like the fall was this, the
Yeah.
winter was this, the
Mhm.
summer was this. And if you really liked one more than the other, you found time to work on the one that you really loved more, even during those other seasons. What I try to encourage the athletes that I work with is play multiple sports. It doesn't mean that you have to put your softball stuff away, but play basketball because it's going to put you in a situation where maybe you are not the best player on the field. Maybe I'm the third, fourth, or fifth best player on the field, and I have to work a little bit harder to compete for my minutes or for my innings or for whatever other sport that you're doing. So it teaches you all around competitiveness. And let's not dismiss the fact that being a part of a team, whether you're playing every pitch of every game or you're not playing at all, there are parts of being a member of a team that make you a better person. So you learn how to work with people, you learn how to take direction, you learn how to give great effort regardless of the situation or circumstances. So I think that playing multiple sports, putting yourself in different situations, is only going to make you better. And then athletically, um, let's be honest, athleticism is athleticism, and it's often found in the people that do the most things. It's not just geared towards one sport specific move. If you're a good athlete, chances are you can do a lot of things average or above average and be competitive in them.
Mhm. And what about when it comes to more like the technical side of it? Maybe I know like softball and baseball, there's a lot of technique involved that, I have no idea how to do that. And I couldn't learn if I'm playing soccer on the side kind of thing. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on like if I wanted to master the technique in one sport, but now I'm spending 2 days of the week playing something else. Maybe I'm not getting better at, or do you think it's just it is worth still trying to play both?
I think that if you have detailed and intent filled reps, you don't need to work out for 3 hours a day to be a great softball player, a great basketball player. If you have 20 minutes before you go to school, go to sleep 20 minutes earlier, wake up 20 minutes earlier, and you can throw the ball off of the wall 20 minutes before you even go brush your teeth. And you just got yourself 100 reps in. And now I can say, okay, my softball work for today is done in December because I'm not going to play a competitive game again until March. So, like, if you want to be good at something, you're going to find a way because it's important to you.
Mhm.
And that's the goes for everything in life. If something is important to you, you're going to make time, you're going to put in the effort, you're going to invest the energy to make sure that that is taken care of before you do anything else. So maybe it's 20 less minutes with your friends or 20 less minutes on the Xbox or 20 less minutes on the social media because I need to practice my skills. But only you as the individual can do that. I find that people are going to sport specific training and one sport only far too early, and they're losing the aspect of the athleticism that carries amongst all of the sports.
Mhm.
Changing speed, changing direction, learning to compete, learning how to win, but then more importantly, learning how to lose. Those are skills that make you a better person and a better athlete. So I think the more situations that you can put yourself in around different players and different coaches is only going to make you a more well-rounded person.
Mhm.
Because you never know what you're going to like. Like as a 12-year-old, you may not love softball forever,
Yes. Yeah.
but if I give up playing basketball when you're 16, you're too far behind to pick up a basketball and keep up with everybody else. So do it for as long as you can. And when you get to a point in your career where you can't physically be in the 1 or 2% of people that you want to be, you need to invest more time into your skills that maybe you can't play another sport.
Mhm.
But oftentimes when people don't play a second sport, they're not taking the 2.5 hours they would be at basketball practice to work on softball. They're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. So it's just a matter of what's important to you. And if you want something, you're going to work for it and you're going to find a way to get it done.
Yeah. David, one last question that I always ask every guest speaker. One piece of advice you would share with the entire world, something that, maybe your message is going to get to every single person in this earth, and you have, I don't know, one advice. What is it?
I put two down here on my little note sheet that I
Yeah,
have. I put two
we'll
down.
take it. We'll take it.
So we'll take two. I mean, the first one is you never have everything figured out. And in life, you have to continue to learn. You have to continue to evolve with the times and with things. So be a constant learner, continually ask questions, listen with an open mind. Don't listen to respond to what you're getting, and be willing to do what everybody else is not willing to do to reach your goals. Be a learner, ask the questions, be open minded, and do the things that other people are not going to do. If you can do those four things every day, you're going to continue to grow and you're going to continue to separate yourself from everybody else who's not doing that. That's the first one. That's from the coaching side of it.
Yeah.
I think from the life side of it, I think us as people need to be a little bit more grateful for the things that we have in our life. And I think oftentimes we take advantage of the things that we have that other people don't have that they wish that they had. So going back to what we talked about a couple minutes ago, staying present, stay in the moment, but be grateful for every opportunity that you have. Say thank you to the people that are in your life every day that do things for you to allow you to achieve the success. Show appreciation for the people that are giving up something to help you reach your goals,
Mhm.
and understand that we're never alone. There's always somebody else that's wearing the same shoes that you are, that you're not alone. You have a support system. Just make sure that you take a second and be grateful for them.
Yeah, I mean, I love them both. I started a journey of trying to be grateful more. I think I started like writing down, what three things I'm grateful for in the morning, three things that I'm grateful for uh, before I go to bed, and I think it just help us train our mind to see things from a different point of view, where we are not really used to do that. We're just focused on the problems all the time, and I think it's easy to say it, like, yeah, no, I'm gonna focus on the good things right now, but it's complicated, shit happens all the time, and I think it's okay for you to, yeah, like, this is not a good thing, but I think becoming aware, come back to reality, and then, like, wait a second, like, I'm fine, like, there's a sentence that I saw the other day, is like, too blessed to be stressed. And I try to keep reminding myself that, like, yeah, maybe it's very cold outside, maybe I'm very tired, but, like, I mean, I'm healthy, my family's good, like, yeah, do I miss my family? Well, a lot, but, I still can go to work, I can still go for a run today, I have water, I have food, and I think we have to get out of this bubble that we live in sometimes, and look uh, at the world more as like a circle and less like a square. And then they'll help us view the world from a different point of view, and like you said, just be grateful for the little things that we have.
Life is unpredictable. What we're talking about now, 5 minutes from now, either one of our worlds can be turned upside down.
Mhm. Yeah.
We don't know that. We have no control over that. So we need to make sure that we're staying present right now, as we talked about, and just understand that if the day is a great day, we're grateful for it. If the day is not such a good day, well, tomorrow's going to be a better day. It's
Mhm.
not always going to be sunshine and rainbows,
Yeah.
but make the most of where you're at, make the most of the people that you have around you, and just keep pushing forward. Life's too good to not keep pushing forward and try to make an impact on yourself, people around you, and the world. Put more good out there.
100%. David, thanks so much. Thanks for the insights, for sharing a little bit of your time and sharing your ideas. Like I said, I think a lot of people will benefit from that. If there's just one people out there that they can listen to that, and they can get something out of it, which I already did. And I think that's going to be helpful, and I'm glad for that. So thanks so much for taking the time. I know you are a busy man. So yeah, I enjoy a lot talking to you.
Thanks for having me. And again, if it reaches one person, that's a win.
Yep.
But we keep pushing forward, we keep making a difference. And I appreciate you taking some time to chat with me.